There are encounters that defy explanation. They transcend time, touch the soul, and unravel what once seemed perfectly ordered. You were not brought together by chance. Angels whisper that your name was written in the heavens long before your paths ever crossed. This connection pulsing within you, intense, inexplicable, and sometimes painful, serves a higher purpose than you currently understand. His presence in your life is no accident, it is a calling. You were placed in his path as a beacon in the darkest night, a healing touch unseen, yet deeply felt. He, bearing hidden wounds, encountered your light, unsure of how to embrace such truth. Angels say, you were chosen to be a mirror, not a burden. To remind him that love still exists, and it has a face. You awaken in him memories of purity, of divinity, of what was forgotten. This man, confused and guarded, has experienced an inner earthquake since your eyes first met. Because you do not enter silently. You awaken. And awakening hurts. Perhaps you haven't realized it, but what you carry is uncommon. It is presence. It is healing. It is a walking prayer. Your mission is not to force him to love you, it is simply to exist authentically. And that, by itself, changes everything. Angels are rearranging his plans, without him knowing. They are cleansing the dusty windows of his heart so that one day, he can see clearly who you are. Do not demand answers now, nor immediate reciprocity. His process is slower, more subtle. But it is happening. Where true light exists, darkness cannot linger. Even if everything seems confusing, trust, a plan exists. You are part of the miracle he does not yet understand. Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I consecrated you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Every journey that begins with God's silence is, in truth, a higher calling. A calling not heard with the ears, but felt with the skin, with the body, with memories from unknown origins. You felt it. It wasn't just imagination. It was as if the universe whispered, "Pay attention." And without knowing why, you began to see signs. Small, almost imperceptible ones. Yet they were real. Too many coincidences to be mere chance. This person who entered your life, with restrained gestures, broken words, eyes that spoke more than his mouth, did not appear to fill your void. Instead, he seemed to activate memories your soul already held. Something in him draws you inward. It is not neediness, nor dependence. It is recognition. Angels say, you knew him before. And he knows you too, even if he fights against it. This recognition comes unannounced. Sometimes, it is not gentle. It arrives like an avalanche. It disrupts. It uninstalls everything you thought you knew about love. Because it is not about ordinary romance. It is about destiny. And destinies clash before accepting each other. You are not called to be his safe harbor, not yet. You are called to be the storm that awakens. The light that reveals. The hand that does not pressure but guides. And this, dear soul, requires strength. A strength only the chosen possess. And you were chosen. Not by him, but by something greater. By something that knows that among many souls, only yours would dare to remain whole, even while loving someone who does not yet know how to love himself. Do not rush time. Time also learns to handle this love. While he learns, the heavens work. Behind the scenes, angels move what is invisible. They touch his heart silently. They show him your image when he tries to flee. They whisper your name in dreams he does not understand. This is the invisible mission you carry, to love without losing yourself. to wait without abandoning yourself, to believe without forcing. Because true love never arrives as imposition. It comes as revelation. Have you noticed his hesitation around you? How his eyes wander, searching for words that remain unspoken. This isn't indifference. It's confusion. Not the confusion of someone who feels nothing, but of one who feels too much, uncertain about where to channel it all. Angels say, his heart was made for love, but they forgot to teach him trust. So he retreats. So he hides. So he appears absent, even though he longs for closeness. He grew up believing that love is a threat. Opening up means getting hurt. Those who love lose. But then you arrived, bringing a new narrative. He just doesn't know if he can embrace it yet. You are a presence that touches without hurting. A gaze that embraces without demanding. This disarms him. But before he can surrender, he must confront what he hides even from himself. This is why the angels ask for your patience. Not the kind of patience that waits for anything, but the kind that recognizes the value of what she feels. This story isn't about quick endings, it's about deep healing. You stand before a man who is rebuilding. Your light exposes the cracks he never wanted to acknowledge. This hurts, but it also liberates. Even if he doesn't say it, he feels it. He senses you are different. Your presence feels like home, like truth, like a future. He feels that, by your side, he could rest. He could be himself, unmasked and fearless. But fear still holds him tightly. Angels are with him now, surrounding his mind, dismantling old beliefs. They are whispering courage in his ear, preparing the ground for a new beginning. In the meantime, you need to do nothing. Just keep being you. Because exactly that, your essence, makes him question, allows, and approaches. And a day will come, not marked on calendars, but recorded in heaven, when he stops running away. On that day, he will look at you with eyes that finally understand, you are not a threat. You are the answer. There are silent moments only the soul perceives, when love begins to manifest in self-care. At this point in the journey, angels gently touch your shoulder, saying, now it is for you. You don't need to break yourself to fit into his world. You don't need to diminish yourself to accommodate his insecurities. True love never demands the sacrifice of your light. Angels want you to embrace this with your heart. Your spiritual mission is not to abandon yourself for him. It is to remain whole while he finds his own way. You can love without losing yourself. And you can wait without fading. Perhaps you've spent sleepless nights trying to understand his silences. Perhaps you've wondered what you did wrong for him to pull away. But what you feel is not rejection. It is a reflection of his inner chaos. The love you offer is so complete it can be frightening. When someone spends a lifetime surviving with halves, wholeness seems dangerous. Therefore, today, the heavens ask something sacred. Turn inward. Look tenderly at the woman you are. The one who feels, who waits, who fights, who believes. The one who, even when tired, remains whole. Care for yourself as you care for him in your thoughts. Nourish your soul with kindness. Surround yourself with all that brings you well-being. Be your own constant presence. Because deep down, what you desire from this love is not salvation. It is recognition. You want to be seen, honored, chosen, not from need, but from worthiness. This worthiness begins now, when you choose to prioritize yourself. Angels say, while you care for yourself, he heals. Everything connects. Your light illuminates his corners, even from afar. but it must remain lit. Do not extinguish yourself trying to be a lighthouse. You can guide and, at the same time, protect yourself. This love was not given to consume you, but to reveal you. The deepest revelation is this: you are already complete. What comes from another is a blessing, not a necessity. You can love with surrender, yet without renunciation. You can wait, without forgetting to live. In this sacred balance, miracles happen. Something in him recognizes you before your eyes even meet. It's not a common attraction. It's as if you activate an ancient code within him. A mirror, perhaps, one that doesn't distort, but reveals. Since you appeared, he finds no peace. Not because you demand anything, but because your presence brings everything to the surface. The wounded child he hides. The man he aspires to be. The traumas he'd rather forget. And most importantly, the love he never learned to embrace. You reflect his unhealed parts. This bothers him. Because loving you is not comfortable, it's transformative. Angels say, you force him to look. To look at shadows, emotional dependencies, patterns that keep him captive. You need to say nothing. Your light speaks for you. This is why he hesitates. Loving someone like you requires courage. Courage to leave the surface and dive deep. Courage to admit he has fled from the truth his whole life. But something in you allows no escape. Your gaze. Your calmness. Your strength even in pain. All of this breaks down the walls he spent years building. You became a mirror. Not one that flatters the ego, but one that reveals the soul. He sees you there. And he sees himself too. This is why he sometimes pulls away. Facing you means facing himself. It means admitting that true love doesn't come with guarantees, but with depth. And that depth is frightening. But angels whisper to him, night after night, that there is nothing to fear. You do not wish to take him away from himself. You wish to help him find his way back home. To his heart. To his essence. Even if he still fights it, something within him begins to yield. No soul forgets a mirror that reveals it with love. You are not here to fix him. You are here to remind him who he is, beyond fear. He, even without words, already perceives healing in your gaze, forgiveness in your touch, truth in your presence. You are the turning point. He just hasn't understood how to manage it. Something quiet began to stir inside him. Perhaps you don't see it clearly. Maybe the gestures still seem the same. But a detail in his eyes wasn't there before. A longer pause between words. A different breath when your name is spoken. This is the beginning. The beginning of awakening. Angels say, the sleeping heart has begun to listen. Listening to memories he didn't know he had. Listening to desires he suppressed for so long. Listening to love's name in your voice. This doesn't mean everything has changed, yet. But it means something has been touched. Once touched, it does not fall back asleep. Is he quieter lately? More contemplative? It's because he listens to what he never dared to feel. Your presence has become a living prayer within him. He feels longing even before pulling away. He feels jealousy without the need to control. He wants to learn about you without knowing what to ask. It's new. And new can be frightening. But he is awakening. What awakens in the heart cannot be forgotten. You with your serene light, your way of being without demands, teach him love without barriers. For someone who has lived surrounded by emotional constraints, this is revolutionary. Don't expect grand gestures. Not yet. Awakening starts small, like a seed pushing through the earth from within. But it is real. Angels make this clear, each time he thinks of you before sleep, each time he dreams of what he hasn't experienced, each time he smiles alone, remembering a detail about you, his heart reprograms. You are the code, the password, the key. He, even in his confusion, has begun to type. He doesn't know what he will find on the other side, but he feels it is safe. It feels right. It is yours. Angels continue to touch his soul. Each touch, even if invisible, is a further assurance that you did not pass through him in vain. The love you planted is taking root, and it will blossom. Have you ever felt like you're just going in circles with him? As if everything is about to begin, then suddenly ends up back at the starting point? This cycle has a name. It has roots. It has a reason. Angels say, his fear is not of you. It is of what you represent. Because loving you requires presence, truth, surrender. For someone who has learned to hide, this is almost unbearable. So he leaves, and then comes back. He gets close, and then disappears. He smiles, and then falls silent. It's the movement of someone who desires something but feels unable to attain it. You, with all your heart, try to understand. Try not to blame yourself. Try not to get hurt. But some days, it all feels too heavy to bear. Know this with your entire soul, this back and forth is not about your worth. It is about his ghosts. He learned to love with fear, to expect abandonment, to distrust peace. Meeting you, all of this felt threatened. Because you bring no drama. You bring truth. And truth is frightening. Yet, despite all the resistance, he comes back to you. Something in you calls to him. It calms him and unsettles him at the same time. It makes him want to escape, and also to stay. The angels observe this cycle closely. They see no fault in you. They see surrender, pure love. This is why they continue to strengthen your heart. They whisper, you are not trapped in a loop. You are helping a heart heal at its own pace. I know it's difficult, but each time he comes back is an attempt, imperfect yes, to connect with what he still cannot handle. You are a lesson for him, and lessons require patience. This does not mean accepting less than you deserve. It means acknowledging that some healings do not happen at the pace of desire. Even in this tiring cycle, there is movement. There is evolution. Seeds are being watered. Love, when genuine, finds its way even through a labyrinth. The angels assure you, a moment will come when he no longer runs away. He will understand that the peace you offer is exactly what he has been seeking all along while he was running. There are moments when heaven falls silent, but angels keep speaking. Today they want you to know, a greater plan exists than your mind can comprehend. In this plan, nothing is out of place. You him this encounter, all orchestrated with details only the divine could conceive. You entered his life as an answer to prayers he didn't even know he had. He, without understanding, felt it. He felt something in you that is unexplainable, something only to be experienced. Angels say, God's timing is perfect. He prepares. This is exactly what is happening now. While you wait, something is aligning. While you ask why, heaven says trust. Pieces are moving. Hearts are forming. Paths are opening. You are not alone in this waiting. God guides every step of this story with invisible, yet steady hands. He knows what you carry in your heart. He knows the nights when everything feels overwhelming. He understands the faith you hold on to, even without guarantees. This is why he moves heaven and earth for this connection to blossom at the right time, not the time of anxiety, but the time of spiritual maturity. This man, who may now seem distant, is being guided. Internal battles rage within him that you do not see, yet they are shaping what is to come. God does not err in his paths. If he placed you in this story, purpose exists. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. Psalm 37 verse 5. This promise is not just a source of comfort. It is a foundation. Trust that this love, even in silence, is being shaped by celestial hands. When the time comes, everything will make sense. Not every silence means absence. Sometimes, it indicates fear. Fear of feeling too much. Fear of losing oneself in what finally makes sense. He wants to love, but he doesn't know how. Angels say, a knot in his chest, tied in childhood, remains untied. A knot of insecurities, abandonment, words that hurt. With this knot, he tries to love you. You sense his hesitation in the details. In the interrupted touch. In the gaze that lingers half a second longer. In the almost gesture of affection he cannot sustain. This is not a lack of love. It is excess protection. For him, loving is a risk. It means shedding the armor that has kept him alive for years. It means showing himself without guarantees. This still terrifies him. Have you noticed? When you approach, he breathes deeper. When you talk about the future, he changes the subject. When you pull away, he comes back. His heart says stay, while his mind screams flee. In this war, you stand strong. With your pure love. With your desire to build. With your presence that heals just by being there. Even if he doesn't say it, he knows. He knows you are different. You do not wish to trap him. You only wish to walk side by side. But for someone used to running, walking already feels like a prison. He needs time. Time to realize that you do not wish to break down his defenses. You wish to embrace his broken pieces. Time to understand vulnerability is not weakness, it is a bridge. And you? You must remember it is not your responsibility to save him. Only to love him as wholly as you can, even if, for now, that also means protecting yourself. Angels care for both of you. They whisper courage into his heart, and hope into yours. They know love exists there. Real love. Love with roots. When he finally accepts he no longer needs to fight, he will discover that loving you is exactly what he needed to return to himself. Not all truths need to be understood immediately. Love sometimes requires more surrender than comprehension. Now, it's time to accept. Accept that not all love starts off fully formed. Not all answers come swiftly. There are beauties in waiting, yes, but primarily, there is strength in enduring. You did what you could. You were presence, light, and seed. Now, dear soul, it's time to trust the harvest, even if it shows no signs. Angels say, the love that is yours is not lost. It returns. It may come through different paths. It may arrive in ways you've never imagined. But if it is true, it returns. Perhaps he still needs to wander a little longer to find himself. Perhaps he needs to face disconnections until he realizes you are always the focal point of peace. And that's okay. Love isn't about controlling time. It's about keeping your heart open, even in silence. You are not weak for feeling so deeply. You are strong for continuing to love gently, even when everything feels heavy. Now is the most sacred part of the journey: surrender, trust, letting go without closing the door. Angels are by your side, caring for your heart, touching your soul with the same delicacy you touched his. They whisper, "You are not being abandoned. You are being protected." Protected from what is not yet ready. Protected from half-hearted new beginnings. While he walks toward his own healing, you walk toward yourself. Because the right love, when the time comes, will not fear. It will not hesitate. It will not run away. It will recognize your light. It will honor your patience. It will find you whole, not because you stopped for him, but because you never stopped moving forward for yourself. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. Receive this truth as a divine promise. What is yours is coming. At the right time. In the right way. With the love you deserve.